How are you selling your personal brand? Spokespeople, CEOs, presidential candidates, they all hire media training teams to train them on nonverbal and body language cues. All these tips basically increase perceived likability, credibility, and authority. Now, as a professor, I teach my undergraduate students and my graduate students these exact tips to help sell themselves professionally in that workplace environment. In this video, I want to go over 5 tactical tips to increase your professional branding using nonverbal communication in very tactical ways.
Bravo 6, going dark.
Did you play the lava game as a child? You know that lava game where you can't touch the ground because it's lava, so you have to jump from the couch to the pillow to the other pillow. And then your mom is probably like, here's the tip. When you're sitting for a meeting at a business meeting situation, pretend like the back 25% of your chair is lava. So you have to sit on the front 75%. So actually try this right now. This is gonna cause you to have 2 options. Either one, you're gonna sit up straight, good posture, like someone's told you in the past. Good posture looks like there's a string going through your spine, through your head, pulling up. That usually for most people, that gets very uncomfortable. So what's the second option? You're gonna slightly lean forward. Anytime you are leaning towards someone else, likability and credibility increase. Now lean backward as you're sitting in this first 75%. This probably feels weird for you. You probably wouldn't sit like this in a meeting. But, for example, sit all the way back. Sit all the way back in that lava zone. If you lean backward just a little bit, that probably doesn't ring in your head as inappropriate. However, a slight lean away from the other person in that meeting is going to decrease your likability and your credibility in that meeting. Why did humans start shaking hands? The reason humans started shaking hands was to show that I didn't have a weapon. That is literally the reason why people started shaking hands. I don't have a knife. I'm not going to stab you in any way. So we have hundreds of years of experience knowing that I feel more secure with you if I can see your hands. So when you're in those business situations, make sure that other people in that room can see your hands. Don't do one of these behind the back sort of pieces. If you're at a business table, don't have your hands underneath the table. Make sure if you're at a table, put your hands on top of the table the entire time. The best gesture you can use is actually one of these.
Why do you have to narrate everything you do?
That even though someone will say, well, I couldn't see their hands, so I don't trust them very much. No one's gonna say that. When polled, people are simply gonna say, I don't know, something just wasn't right. I don't trust that person. It was because I can't see your hands. If you're standing in a circle with your friends, how can you tell immediately who everyone in that circle thinks is most interesting? Okay, let's pretend like you're standing in this circle with your friends. How are you gonna find out right then and there who everyone thinks is most interesting at that exact moment? You're gonna look for the 2 T's. Your 2 T's are your toes and your torso. Psychologically, we will point our toes and our torso in the direction of what we are most interested in. Whether that be a person, whether that be food that's in the room, whether that be the exit door because you don't want to be in that meeting. So when you're having this conversation with someone, don't be one of these cool guys side sort of conversations. Make sure that your toes and your torso are directly facing the person you're talking to. That increases credibility and authority specifically. So people will listen more what you have to say and trust what you're saying.
That's pretty interesting.
At a typical meeting table, where should you sit? In a typical meeting, a lot of times people will sit across the table from one another, right? If you were asked this, naturally, a lot of people do this. Anytime there's a barrier between you and the other person, that communication is going to decrease. So the best place to sit is actually on a corner, right? You don't want to sit on the same side of the table because what's going to happen is your 2 T's are not going to be in line. You're facing the same direction. So instead, what you do is you sit on a corner of a table, right? You turn yourself, you angle yourself so 2 T's are still part of the equation, but there isn't a huge barrier between you and the other person. This is the same thing with how offices are set up. If you go into a boss's office, you walk in the door and there's a table and they sit on the other side of that desk or that table, that breaks down communication. It's best if we get rid of any barriers whatsoever. So in those situations, make sure you're taking away any barriers. Don't sit on opposite sides of a table. If available, sit on those corners. What was the best marketing strategy of the app Evernote? Evernote is a very popular note-taking app. You can use this on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer, your desktop. Now here's the issue. When you pull out your laptop, you think you're gonna pull out that laptop and take notes during that meeting.
It's a trap!
One of their best marketing strategies was they sent out these stickers. These stickers that says, I'm not being rude, I'm taking notes using Evernote. Don't take notes in a meeting specifically on your laptop. Bring handwritten notes. Pro tip to this, for handwritten notes, is actually a tablet. If you have like an iPad with Apple Pencil, then you still have an electronic form of those notes, but you're showing someone can see that you're actually handwriting those notes. Those are 5 tactical tips that you can use immediately to increase your professional brand using nonverbal communication and body language.
You got it, dude!
See you next class.